Okay, well, my name is Javier, and I'm going to speak about Spanish framework for the digital competence of teachers and specifically Area 1. But first of all, we have to know what is Area 1. It's an area about professional digital competence. It focuses on how teachers utilize digital tools and technology to enhance their teaching and facilitate students' learning, teaching more effectively, connecting with others, and staying current with digital trends. In this area 1, we have sub-competences. So we have organizational communication, professional participation, collaboration and coordination, reflective practice, continuous digital professional development, also well known with the CPD, personal data protection, privacy, safety, and well-being. So now we have to know what does A2 mean in each of the top competences. So first of all, using digital tools for communication as set by the educational board, all school boards. Then participate in school coordination meetings using digital tools with guidance. Then number 3, reflecting on teaching with digital technologies to improve performance, participating and in training activities related to digital tools and teaching practices, and following basic guidelines for protecting personal data and ensuring digital safety with supervision. Here I will present you some example of A2. So the use of a cooperated mail account to participate with initial assistance in whole staff of or department meeting through video conferencing tools offered by the EA or school leaders, to use an interactive screen and to identify positive and negative effects on the learning of students, and then to participate in webinars to respond to training needs related to school's management plan, and using a digital certificate to sign official documents. And here is a comparison between the European community and then nowadays the way it is putting into practice in Spain. As far as you can see, the 4 first features are just the same, like organizational communication, professional collaboration, reflective practice, and the digital continuous professional development. The only difference is that here in our country we have another one, which is personal data protection, privacy, safety, and well-being. So this is all. Thanks very much for watching.
Area 2, Digital Content. Teachers enjoy a wide range of digital content for teaching, and that's why they have to develop these 3 competences. The first one has to do with searching and selecting digital content. By using smart search strategies, critically assessing quality and relevance, and considering licenses and copyrights. The second one has to do with creating and modifying digital content by designing and adapting digital materials, ensuring quality and suitability for students, and respecting copyright and fair use. And the third one has to do with protecting, managing, and sharing digital content by sharing securely and responsibly, using reusable formats and proper cataloging, and applying correct licenses when publishing. These 3 competences at A2 level require teachers, in the first one, which is searching and selecting digital content, to identify with guidance the relevant criteria for the search and selection of digital content adjusted to a real educational context. Moreover, they have to identify with advice requirements for digital content in a specific learning situation and apply the corresponding criteria for research and selection. They also have to know how institutional content repositories work. In the second competence, which is creating and modifying digital content, teachers have to be able to implement in controlled environments or with guidance, didactic, disciplinary, and technical criteria in the editing and creation of quality digital content for use with a specific group of pupils. And in the third competence, which is protecting, managing, and sharing digital content, Teachers have to be able to implement procedures for publishing, sharing, and cataloging of content with the help of a mentor in the CMS, Content Management System, repositories, databases, and CLMS, Collaborative Learning Management System, offered by the EA, Educational Assistant, or by the school leaders. And here we have some examples of these competences. The first one, which was searching and selecting content. In this one, a teacher might have to look for a video on photosynthesis, comparing sources, checking reliability, and choosing one with a Creative Commons license for classroom use. Or maybe they'll have to use Google Advanced Search or filtering free-to-use images for a student's project. In the second one, which was creating and modifying content, a teacher may have to adapt a generic worksheet into an interactive quiz using Kahoot or Genially, tailored to the student's level, or maybe they'll have to edit an infographic to include local examples so students can connect better with the topic, or maybe they'll have to design a multimedia presentation for a science unit, ensuring content is accessible with clearer text, subtitles, etc. And on the third one, which was protecting and sharing content, a teacher may have to upload teaching materials to Google Drive or Moodle, setting the correct privacy sharing settings, or maybe they have to publish a resource on an educational repository with a license so others can reuse it, or they'll have to maybe save files in open formats such as PDF or MP4 so they can be used across platforms. And lastly, we'll compare DigiComp Edu 2017 and BOE 2022. We can see that both of them are pretty similar. They both include 3 competences, and the names of the competences are quite similar. If we look at them one by one, the first one would be selecting in the DigiComp Edu and searching and selecting digital content in the BOE. In the second one, we have creating and modifying in both of them. And in the third one, we have managing, protecting, and sharing in the DigiComp Edu, and we have protecting and sharing content in the BOE. And that's it for Area 2.
Hi everyone, I'm Pablo, and I'm going to explain Teacher Digital Competence Area 3. Okay, so this is the index, just in case you want to check it out real quick. But real quick, we move on to the first point called Area 3, Teaching and Learning. Okay, this area has to do with digital technologies, in particular with teaching and learning. And digital technologies, when applied properly, can boost and strengthen teaching and learning skills. The teacher's competence lies in managing the use of these technologies, as well as improve the student's learning process. This is the first point, 3.1 teaching, and the key aspects are including digital technologies into the syllabus. Students must feel safe and enhance critical thought, implementing new methods and strategies for teaching and learning. We move on to the second point, 3.2, guidance and learning support. Key aspects in these points are safe and responsible use of digital technologies to support and guide students, foster interaction inside and outside the classroom, explore new ways of receiving support while respecting digital rights and ensuring equality. The third point, 3.3, peer learning. Key aspects are selection and use of safe technologies to boost peers learning by collaboration, providing students with strategies to use technologies of communication and collaboration, and enriching the peers learning process and developing their capacity to learn how to learn amongst peers. So this point has to do with a collaboration and interaction between students. Fourth point, self-regulated learning. key aspects are follow and assess students' learning process using digital technologies, students' own reflection on this process, and developing of strategies and methods which can help documenting the learning process of students. Okay, this point has to do basically with how the students learn and documenting this process, not about evaluating or assessing students' performance. And the final point is called compared to the compedu, is the final comparison. We have 5 points, and those are there are no significant differences in the general idea behind the three area, teaching and learning. Both frameworks highlight the use of digital technologies to boost the learning process of students. In 3.3, the Compedu's main goal is to encourage peers to use technology in collaborative activities, while TDC focuses on design. In 3.4, DCE focuses emphasize encouraging peers in self-regular activities, whereas TDC focuses on teachers' role applying those activities. And the last one, both approaches are similar and follow the same line despite these small differences. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Javier, and today I'm going to talk about Area 4, which is called Assessment and Feedback, which focuses on how educators use technology or technological tools to assess learning, analyze evidence, and provide effective feedback. Okay, so nowadays we live in a digitalized world and we need to adapt to it. And that is why digital technologies can be incorporated into the assessment of projects or tasks, for instance. These technologies, which are usually applied while teaching and learning, have two functions when it comes to assessments. The first one is the enhancement of the current existing assessment strategies. And the second one would be the creation of new ones that are innovative and that they can indeed facilitate an assessment approach. When it comes to this area in particular and the digital tools that are being used, there are three main competences, which are assessment strategies, learning analytics and analyzing evidence, and feedback and decision making. Okay, so the first one would be assessment strategies. So what does it consist of? Educators basically design and use these digital tools for diagnostic, formative, and summative assessment. So they select different tools that are suitable, and they collect the different data, and they use these data and all these digital means to assess both student learning and teaching practices. So it affects on both learning and teaching. The main aim of this subcompetence in particular is to improve the diversity, and the diversity especially from assessments, formats, and approaches. With an A2 level in digital competence, you should be able to use, yet with guidance of course, the digital assessment technologies provided by the school center. And yeah, we've provided this project and this task. I've done it with Alba, and we've provided this example, which is using Classroom to record students' grades. So basically, we could be using the school's virtual learning environment, which is Classroom in this case. Could be Edukatsu, to record the students' grades and design therefore and guide them in a digital survey for these students. And for a possible self-evaluation if the teacher wants to. Okay, so the second subcompetence would be learning analytics and analyzing evidence. This basically aims to process and analyze different data to improve both teaching and learning process. So thus the main goal is to generate and store evidence of the student activity securely. That is, safely and without taking the students' safety and privacy. When it comes to the A2 proficiency level, it is required, yet with guidance once again. So with guidance will be repeated all along this presentation. So it is required that data analysis skills are applied to evaluate the teaching and learning processes within school programs. So yeah, and the example we've provided is so a school introduces a new reading program, and we start using it in the school center, and we want to assess, for instance, English reading skills. So we gather students scores, and feedback in the English exam, and we analyze the data comparing the scores that the students have with this new program and the scores that they had when the program was not implemented. And with this, we see if reading skills have improved or not. If they have improved, then the new reading program will be permanently incorporated, and if not, then it could be removed. Okay. The third subcompetence is feedback and decision making. So this means that educators use technologies to provide feedback, and yet once again, and as I've said previously, this must be done without invading the students' privacy through the information they have provided. That is, maybe you want to assess something, but the data you're gathering and the feedback you are providing should be safe enough for the students, and you should be respecting this privacy according to the policies of the school center in particular. So with an A2 level, you should be providing personalized feedback to students and families using school-approved platforms. Follow school protocols for data protection and communication, and apply these digital tools to give personalized feedback. So the example we've provided is, for instance, the teacher adjusts the next lesson to focus on weak areas and shares personalized feedback with students and parents. So, for instance, with the results that we've obtained with the previous example, with the previous reading program, the teacher adapts these materials for the next lesson to improve the weaknesses. So the parts that were not that good in this reading comprehension in English, they could be improved by adapting some different lessons. And moreover, it is important that the teacher should be sharing the results with the parents of each and every single student. Okay, so when it comes to the Compendio Area 4 and the definitions provided, we can see that the main difference could be related to the naming of each subcompetence, but not in meaning. The meaning is almost similar, I would say, almost identical. But yeah, there are some differences when it comes to the name of each subcompetence in particular. So as for the assessment strategies, it is stated that the main goal is to use digital technologies for formative and summative assessment to enhance the diversity and suitability of assessment formats and approaches. So once again, basically what I've explained in the first subcompetence before. Then we would have analyzing evidence, which aims to generate, select, and analyze digital evidence, performance, and progress in order to inform teaching and learning. And lastly, we have feedback and planning. So the name clearly is different, but the meaning is quite the same. So it's to use digital technologies to provide feedback to learners and adapt different teaching strategies and provide support. So if we have to compare both the different subcompetences I've explained and the compendo ones, once again, there are not many differences when it comes to meaning. So the meaning is quite the same, but the naming of each subcompetence is the difference. Okay, marks the difference. So they present the same ideas, but they differ in the naming of the titles. And yeah, it is what I've explained and what I've been explaining all along. For instance, the third subcompetence is named feedback and decision making, in the one that I've explained more in detail, and in the compendo it is called feedback and planning. So this would be all. So thank you for your attention, and that's it.
Point 5 is empowering learners. These are the points that we are going to follow in this presentation. It is established in the Spanish educational system that education should act as an element to compensate any kind of inequality, being personal, cultural, social, economic, that any student may face, especially for those who suffer any kind of disability. Point 4.1 is accessibility and inclusion. Using digital technologies to facilitate learning for pupils by removing contextual barriers to their present participation and progress. That is, students, teachers, all the school should choose the technological devices that best suit the students' necessities, that being the keyboard, the screen, joystick, anything of that kind. Point 5.2 is addressing personal differences in learning. Teachers should accommodate to the pupils' necessities using digital technologies available to them so they can reach their objectives. That is, similar to the previous point, teachers should accommodate to the students' necessities by choosing the correct softwares that they may need. Point 5.3 is actively engaging learners in their own learning, integrating digital technologies in the activities presented in class so that students have an engaging experience and feel like an active participant in their learning experience. That is, using technologies to make the teaching experience more appealing, such as showing the inside of a volcano so students feel more interested and therefore engaged. These are the main ideas of the point 5, that is active, meaningful and authentic learning, motivation and learning using digital technologies, individuality, empowering pupils to use digital technologies, autonomously development competencies through the use of digital technologies. These are the similarities that we find with DigiComponent. As we see, the points are exactly the same. Thank you very much.
So, Area 6 is developing learners' digital competence. In this area, we are going to focus on how teachers design and implement learning activities, thus making students digitally competent and showing them how to find, communicate, create, and act responsibly online. In this competence, we have a few subcompetences at level A2. So the first one is media, information, and data literacy, where teachers design and apply learning activities, different learning activities. Thus, to teach students how to research, evaluate, organize, and interpret digital information critically, which means they will have to learn how to choose the most reliable information out of all of the things that they can find online. Number 2 is communication, collaboration, and digital citizenship, which teaches students how to communicate, collaborate, and participate online responsibly, building, therefore, a positive digital identity. This means they can use apps like Mentimeter to speak about their thoughts or do some kind of activity class related. The third one, the next one, is digital content creation, which helps students create and edit digital content, like it could be images, GIFs, videos, anything that they want to use, respecting, of course, the copyright and accessibility principles. This means not taking something from someone without their permission and taking credit for it, so they have to reference everything that they find or that they use.
Okay, thank you, Yara. The next competence that we have to take into account, it's called the responsible use and digital well-being, and it's related to the safe, ethical, healthy, and sustainable use that we give to these devices, to these digital devices. So it includes privacy, personal information, online safety, emotional well-being, like for example preventing stress. And the activity that we have selected or that we thought about was, for example, the teacher running a discussion using a short video about, for example, cyberbullying, and students were asked to propose class rules for safe and balanced technological use. And the last competence that we're going to take into account, it's the 6.5, and it's called problem solving. And here, teachers have to teach how to use these digital tools, as I said before, ethically and responsibly. So, the activity that we thought about when doing this presentation, it's the following one. Students work in class, in groups, and they have to design a simple digital campaign, for example, a poster with its slogan or a QR code, whatever. And they have to promote suggestions about an eco-friendly action at school, for example, using Canva, Genially, Google, or Slices. They have to suggest an eco-friendly activity at the schools. Now this slide talks about the Digital Competence Education Framework, and it compares the European one with the Spanish one. Okay, we have to take into account the European one, it's like the one that we have as an option, and then we have the Spanish version that it's adapted to the country, to the educational mode, to the educational system. So they have to be more or less the same, but of course the Spanish one is going to be adapted into the environment that we're today, that we have here in Spain. So the structure is almost the same and its purpose is also, almost the same, but what changes are of course the titles, the nouns, the laws, as ones are general and the other ones are of course national. So the European one, it's like the reference that we have that they had in order to make the Spanish one or the national one. And lastly, where we strongly believe that this competence it's a must as teachers, as we have to know how to teach students how to manage these devices that are in the globalized world that we live, that we're surrounded of, and they have to learn how to use them effectively and responsibly.